All right, y'all, let's talk about what we're going to read in Spinoza. We're looking at some selections from the TTP, the Tractatus Theologico-Politicus, where Spinoza publishes what's considered to be an evil book about the Bible. So what's so evil about it? What is Spinoza doing, and why is it so controversial? One of the big things that Spinoza does in this book that makes it so controversial is he reads the book. He reads the Bible like it's just a book. So the opening section distinguishes between religion and superstition. He's worried about superstition in his society. The roots of the superstition that he's worried about? Fear. Fear makes us go looking for something, for a sign somewhere, for evidence somewhere that things are going to be okay. Spinoza writes, "No one has lived among men without seeing that when they are prospering, even those who are quite inexperienced are generally so overflowing with wisdom, or with confidence maybe, that they believe themselves to be wronged if anyone wants to give them advice. But then in adversity, on the other hand, they do not know where to turn and humbly ask advice of everyone. So we're superstitious, we're looking for signs from everyone, from everywhere, when we're afraid. When we get to the ethics, fear is going to be the number one thing that Spinoza tries to help us with. It's really therapeutic. Spinoza sees the religious people of his time as a very superstitious people, and partly that's encouraged by the religious organizations. One of the things that's gone wrong, he thinks, that has made religion into a hotbed of superstition is that there are career religious teachers, that people just go into it for position, for money, and then they end up using their religion to control people and keep getting the money and the position and all that. So things have gone wrong long ago, Spinoza thinks. So one of the first things that we're going to see in these selections from the TTP is Spinoza telling us about how God speaks to us, about how we come to know things. And those are the same, really. Spinoza speaks here in a very religious language. He talks about God all the time. He talks about God speaking to us, God being the one who teaches us these truths. But, and we'll see this more clearly in the ethics, God just is the totality of the natural world for Spinoza. So, whenever you learn something, God is teaching you. So what's special about how God teaches you through the Bible? What's special about how God teaches people directly? About how people get revelation and write that revelation down? Spinoza looks to the Bible and tries to give an account of when the Bible tells you about revelation, how rarely the Bible tells you about God communicating directly to people. Right? So Spinoza's going to look at this very carefully, and he's going to also bring into question things about a sign, like testing God, testing a revelation, that we need some miracle to believe this or that, not to believe that the text is from God and all of this. So Spinoza's going to very carefully look through all of that. But the real influential thing that Spinoza does here is he helps us think about how to read the Bible really carefully, how to read the Bible and understand what it means, understand what part is truth, what part is truth being accommodated to the messenger or to the audience. So to get at the message of the prophets, Spinoza says, you got to kind of disentangle the details of the messenger. If a prophecy is received by a shepherd, It's going to involve a lot of images taken from that rural shepherding life. So a lot of what Spinoza is trying to do in the TTP is teach us how to read the Bible carefully, and to investigate what in that is going to be true. Now, the ethics has nothing to do with the Bible. It seems. The ethics is written in a geometrical fashion, okay? It is unusual. It is a very unusual text. It begins with a set of definitions, and then axioms, and then proofs of propositions. It's writing philosophy like it's a geometry text, which is a really interesting thing to do, I think, right? Why does he do that? There's lots of different views on why he does that, but let me read this from the end of the TTP. What I have said here about Euclid... let me back up. Euclid, who wrote only about things which were quite simple, most intelligible, is easily explained by anyone in any language. For to grasp Euclid's intention and to be certain of his true meaning, it is not necessary to have a complete knowledge of the language in which he wrote, but only a quite common and almost childish knowledge. Nor is it necessary to know the life, concerns, and customs of the author, nor in what language, to whom, and when he wrote, nor the fate of the book, nor its various readings, nor how, nor by whose deliberation it was accepted. What I have written about Euclid must be said about everyone who has written about things by their nature comprehensible. Right? We don't need scholarship to understand what Euclid's saying, because we can follow the reasons. We can follow the definitions and the reasons. But all these other texts, you really need the context. You really need the details. You really need to know who's talking, what their life is like, what they're talking about, to whom, when, in what language. You need all these details to really understand a text. But Euclid is special. You don't need the backstory, because it's all contained in the definitions. You follow it yourself. You get God in your mind teaching you the geometrical propositions, right? Reason teaching you the geometrical propositions. You don't need to unravel the story of the composition and all that to know what's going on. It's all self-contained. What if someone tried to write the Bible like Euclid? What would it look like?